Come on in. Come on in. Night 7. We're making it happen on tonight. Come on in. I've been waiting for you. Let's go. Let's make it happen. This is a wonderful time to be alive because we are exploring and understanding to healing from trauma. Let's get informed. Let's get educated. Let's make application so that we can make transformation. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If I haven't told you, I'm so glad you're here. And I'm so glad that you've committed to 7 nights. Can you believe it's been a week? We've started last Wednesday, this time, because I believe New Year's Eve. No, we did start Thursday. I thought earlier when I had that discussion, we have New Year's Day, and then we have the 2nd. So it's actually going to be a week tomorrow that we started this. So we're celebrating our 7th night, but a full week will actually be on tomorrow. So either way, whether you're here from night 1 or night 7, or for the last 9 seasons that I've been doing this, welcome, welcome, and welcome. And we're so glad you're here. I want to thank those who gave stars. I kind of looked over briefly, and I noticed on YouTube on last night, we had Gwyneth Douglas and Edith Sylvia. And what made me really smile with Edith Sylvia is that it appeared that she might have gotten on the next day because she gave her stars the next day. So you can still, as YouTube watchers or subscribers, you can still go on the next day and give your stars. So I want to appreciate you both very much. We've got an amazing assignment ahead of us. All of us, we're in this together. We have an amazing assignment together that we are doing. So I'm going to ask early tonight, because once I get moving, I don't like to really interject with such an in-depth work that we're doing here. I'm going to ask if we can raise a stars party tonight. Can you take the time to go in while we're waiting for the others to come in and take their VIP seats? Can you go ahead and send some stars in? If you're on Facebook, you can see on the side there's advertisements and links all in there to send stars, and you may have to put your debit card or some information in there, but it can be so cheap. But what it does for the work that we're doing here, it's almost for social media as an evangelism tool. It helps the social media platforms to send these messages out so that we can bring the same hope and healing to other people that we are enjoying ourselves for these last 7 nights or these last 9 seasons that I've been doing this. So help us evangelize this message, will you? Send some stars on Facebook. Send some stars over there on YouTube. Who's going to be the first star sender on tonight? I have a t-shirt that I've been holding, wanting to give away, and I need a reason to do it. And this t-shirt was from the other night. I think it was maybe night 4. And the t-shirt says, "Resilience looks good on me." It's unworn. I saved it just for you. Who's going to be the first star giver on tonight? And then as we start the stars party, you will trigger me to give more things away, even with our upcoming event on January 31st, where we're going to do So Detox Live. What do you know about that? It's going to be exciting. Oh my God. Tickets are on sale. If it has not posted on the website yet, it will be posting in the next 24 hours. We were tidying up some agreements in the contract, and we're going to post it also on social media. You can bring a friend. I would love it if you drove in, got a night, took a flight in, stayed the night. If you stay the weekend, we can do something wonderful with you on Saturday, have service with you on Sunday, and prepare you to go back to your state or your town detoxed and just loved on after doing such gutting work. Welcome, welcome, and welcome. Come on in. Good evening, and welcome to night 7 of Understanding and Healing from Trauma. It's our series. I'm so glad you've joined me tonight as we continue this journey together. Over the past 6 nights, we've explored foundation concepts of trauma, its impact on our lives, and how we can begin to take steps towards healing. This is a family thing. Tonight, we'll focus on trauma and triggers, starting with the first half of chapter 4. This is a critical topic that helps us better understand why we react the way we do and how to begin managing those reactions. Night 6, last night, we completed chapter 3 in its entirety, which centered around recognizing trauma in our lives. So here's a quick recap. 1, awareness. We identified the presence of trauma in our lives and explored the patterns, triggers, and behaviors that shapes it. We completed and discussed the trauma system checklist, the TSC 40. We completed and reviewed this checklist, which provided clarity on how trauma manifests emotionally, mentally, and physically in our body. That's a heavy one, right? And I also want to add right there, if you don't mind, that for those that have joined as members on YouTube, there's different levels of membership, very inexpensive. It's very affordable. For those that have not, take the time now to join the membership on YouTube. And I stress this because I'm going to go in and do some one-on-one conversations with you there to help you identify the specific areas from your trauma checklist that you showed high need or high attention required to in those specific areas. So let's just say on your list of 1 through 40, you had a bunch of zeros. We're not going to pay attention to those. You had some 1s and 2s. We'll just graze those. But the ones that were high priority, those that you answered 3, I'm going to tell you which category of your life these are affecting and possibly help you connect some dots on where this is coming from. So join us on YouTube as a member and get entitled to things that we're just not doing on the general streaming lines. Okay. So last night was a recap of awareness, the trauma symptom checklist, and then a progressive reflection. We discussed how to move forward with the knowledge gained from this awareness and how this sets the stage for deeper healing. With this solid foundation that we've been laying, foundation upon layer, you'll notice that I'm repeating some things, almost a common thread every night, because that's another layer of the foundation. We have to have a secure and strong foundation. So with this solid foundation, we turn our attention now to understanding triggers, how they arise, what they signify, and how to manage them effectively. So the common question we should start out with tonight is a foundational question in this chapter of the book. What are triggers? Triggers are cues, either external or internal. What are triggers? Triggers are cues, or you may use the word signals. They are either internal in us or external around us that activate emotional or physical responses that are tied to our past trauma, recognized or not. They often feel overwhelming, as if you are reliving the traumatic experience in the present. So there's 2 types of traumas that I just mentioned, external triggers. These are cues from your environment, such as sounds, smells, places, even people. An example would be hearing a loud noise that reminds you of an accident. Internal triggers, those are thoughts, emotions, even physical sensations that arise from within you. An example, feeling a racing heart, tightness in your chest when thinking about a specific event or person. So why do triggers happen? This is very important. And it's actually a gift to us. And if you are like, oh my God, I wish we didn't have this set up. I wish we weren't wired this way. Who needs the amygdala anyway? I wish I could get over this. This is a gift. This is a gift so that you can prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. How so? Because if you did not have these cues, these signals, these responses, these triggers, if you did not have them, you would not be aware that there is something in your brain and in your body that's shortening your life. Stealing, killing, and destroying it. It's stealing time from you. It's destroying great days, abundant life from you. It's affecting your health. It's affecting your relationship. It's affecting your ability to love, the capacity to love and have compassion for yourself. This is a gift. Triggers occur because trauma left something. Triggers occur because trauma leaves a lasting imprint on the body and the brain. When a cue reminds you of the traumatic experience, your brain's survival system responds as if danger is happening right there, even when you're safe. How the trauma affects the brain? Again, the amygdala, the hippocampus, and the prefrontal cortex. Take some time in the morning. I know it's going to sound weird and spooky to you, but just do it anyhow. Just trust me for these 30 days. Put your hand on your mind, on your brain, on your skull, on your head, and just take some time and just pray when you're having a hard time. These are faith tools, and they build you up more than anything else. The amygdala, also known as your alarm system, this signals danger even when none exists. Begin to pray. The hippocampus is your memory keeper, struggles to distinguish past trauma from present reality because it's based on memories. And then your prefrontal cortex, you need this. This is the logic side. This is your rational thinker. And it often shuts down during a traumatic event or a reoccurrence of a trigger of a traumatic event. And it will make it hard for you to think clearly during a trigger. Does that explain a lot? You could be triggered in times that you are not even aware of. And all of a sudden, let's just use an example that I hear often. I'm not a student. I can't study. I don't remember. I have trouble comprehending. Usually, those are great signs to suggest an inquiry to whether there's trauma there or not, because something is affecting your comprehension. Something is affecting your memory. Something is affecting your peace level so that you can read and comprehend. This response that we're talking about is a survival mechanism, and it should not be allowed to operate in your body when you're taking a test or going for a job or engaging in a conversation that may be uncomfortable, visiting certain places, hearing certain reminders of the past. This is you still living in the past. This is a version of what we call being stuck. Yes, your age has moved on. Yes, you have progressed in so many areas of your life. But in this specific point of reference, you're stuck. Because when it's activated by triggers, it makes you feel overwhelming and it is disruptive. So, how do we recognize triggers? It's a good question. We recognize triggers by the sensations. And the importance of recognizing these triggers, because at this stage of our sessions, of our work, I want you to learn how to manage them. You may not be able to lead, guide, and direct them, but we can start at this 1 week interval with learning how to manage our triggers. Triggers often show up as physical sensations: a racing heart, shallow breathing, sweating, even tension. They can even show up as emotional reactions: sudden anger, fear, sadness, or numbness. May even show up in your behavior with behavioral changes, avoiding people or places, lashing out, even withdrawing. And lastly, your thought pattern: intrusive thoughts, flashbacks, or feelings of helplessness. Did you breathe? Did you shake your head? Have you learned to breathe? Have you noticed that all yet? That during the day you're taking a big exhale? Well, don't forget in your exhales and in your sighs to breathe in your nose and out your mouth. This is very good for your physical body. It's very good for your brain. It is excellent for your nervous system. So don't think it's just some, you know, new age crazy type of nonsense or something that doesn't really work for you. It may not be noticed by you that it works, but your body, your brain, and your nervous system notices. So take a moment to breathe, even through the teaching. If you're feeling a little overwhelmed, if you're feeling pain in your back, stiffness in your neck, pay attention to those things. Here's our reflection prompt for this evening. Can you recall a moment when you felt triggered? What external or internal cue, signal, might have activated your response? Have you been able to notice when you felt triggered, and what were the external or internal cues that might have been activated and caused your response? Close your eyes for a moment. Breathe in. Think about it. And if you can't, just now or during the replay, take the time and write the question down and ask yourself that. Spend maybe 15 minutes after a session at night. Maybe fresh when you get up in the morning and you have your juice, or you're driving in your car and you're playing this in an audio version. You're playing the podcast version, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Audible with the Audible books. There's another one too. I forget what it is, but wherever you listen to your podcast, this is on there. You can play it in your car, play it while you're shopping, sit and do your quiet meditation time, earplugs, earbuds on, just kind of write and journal. This is important to see your progress along the way. And it's going to be very helpful after these 30 days to pick up this work, maybe from the beginning again, and see where you have already grown just from 30 days of working on yourself. So what are some strategies for managing triggers? Once you've identified your triggers, the next step is learning how to manage them. And here are some strategies to start with. There are some grounding techniques. There's some controlled breathing techniques, and the importance of being in a safe space. When it comes to grounding techniques, I like to recommend the 5-4-3-2-1 method. There's two ways that this can work. If you notice that one of your trigger responses is anger, and you need to be in some anger management, call us. We got you. But you need to be in some anger management. We can do 12 sessions of it and see how much your life and your relationships and your progress and your promotions and opportunities that will begin to come your way when you get rid of this anger. The Bible says that it's okay to be angry, right? But sin not. Anger left unchallenged, undisciplined, controlling you instead of you controlling it, will lead you to sin. That's the bottom line. And it's the truth. And that should have already set you free. So taking the time to care about the anger management in your life, which could be a trigger, it can be a trauma response. It is important to know that you have the ultimate power. You have the ultimate control over you, whether you are taking this as the lead of your own life or not. Along with salvation and along with anointing, we often forget self-control. That is a fruit of the spirit of your salvation. That is the fruit of the spirit of the anointing that is on your life, that you got through your salvation. Self-control. Why are your emotions dictating how you show up, how you respond? Your emotions has set a reputation for you, one that's not you, one that you don't deserve, but one you're not working to change, because you like being led by your emotions, because it makes you feel empowered. Maybe you went from being bullied to now the bully when you allow your emotions to respond a certain way. But it makes you look immature, and it makes you look unprepared, and it makes you look as though you are not ready for life. So use the method and start. Before I go off on somebody, before I respond unruly, before I return that phone call, before I reply to that text. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm not going to give them the immature me. I'm not going to give them the emotionally unintelligent side of me. I'm going to show up mature, show up prepared. I'm going to show up where I get respect, because I'm earning respect in how I show up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then there's another 5-4-3-2-1 method. And it's when you are in a memory relapse. It's when you're stuck in a memory, you're stuck in a trauma response, you're being highly triggered by something. The 5-4-3-2-1 method goes like this. And the purpose of it is to pull you out of that state that you are in. Maybe fear has gripped you. Maybe disassociation is gripping you. Maybe you're avoiding something and you can't afford to do that anymore or in this specific situation. You can take the moment, pull yourself into your moment of consciousness, come out of your subconscious and get into a moment of consciousness. And how do you do this? You go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5 things you see immediately: wall art, light switch, door, glass, flower. And now your focus is on something else instead of your subconscious taking over overdrive of your consciousness. You're now forcing yourself to be in a conscious moment. And then the four things you can touch. Three things you can hear. Two things you can smell. One thing you can taste. Right now, I still taste that mouthwash that toothpaste that is like the craziest toothpaste I ever bought in my entire life. It's wild. It's like a party in your mouth. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and a partridge in a pear tree, 1 thing you can taste. See, that's something that I have a gift that when I go into a stress or a trauma, laughter just comes over me or joke comes over me. Helps when preaching those hard messages too, or bringing correction and rebuke, to insert a little laughter, especially for those lemon faces. Did I give you a little laugh right there? Another is controlled breathing. Slow, deep breaths can calm your nervous system. I want you to practice this. Inhale 4 counts. Hold it for 4 counts, and then exhale for 6 counts. This is when you're actually giving your nervous system a spa day. You're giving them a spa treatment. I'm going to repeat it again. You're going to inhale for 4. You're going to hold it for 4, but you're going to exhale it for 6 counts. And this is, remember, this is a spa treatment to your nervous system, even to your brain, putting oxygen back into your blood cells. This is very, very good. Even though it may seem corny or weird, uncomfortable, embarrassing to some, your body is like, thank you for the spa treatment. Inhale for 4 counts. Hold it for 4. Exhale for 6. And that's what you're going to do. Try it every day. Try it during your daily devotion, before you start reading the word, in the middle of the word, the end of the word, wherever it fits comfortably for you. After you pray, before you go into prayer, try these methods. They work. Other people have used them and they're working them, and it's us who refuse to work them. Work them. And then lastly, create a safe space. Surround yourself with people or environments where you feel secure and supported. That is so major. So what's our reflection exercise for tonight? What's our soul work? You're going to take a moment and you're going to reflect on these questions. Now, you may not answer them until tomorrow or during your time of reflection, as this is a reflection exercise, or you may get the answers right now for one of them or all of them. But however that you do this, just make sure you do it and don't feel any rush to get it done. Your reflection exercise, your soul work for tonight: what external or internal triggers have you noticed in your life? We gave some examples tonight. What are yours? What are external or internal triggers that you've noticed in your life? Number 2, how do these triggers affect my emotions, behaviors, or thoughts? How are they affecting you? How are you showing up for yourself, for the world, for your relationships? How they affect your emotions, behaviors, and thoughts? Because what a man thinks in his heart, so is he. The mouth is a release valve for the issues of the heart. How do these triggers affect your emotions, behaviors, or thoughts? And lastly, what grounding or calming techniques can you start practicing to manage these triggers? Feel free to jot down your thoughts or share them in the comments if you're comfortable. Looking ahead, tonight, we've covered what triggers are, why they occur, and how to begin recognizing and managing them. Tomorrow, we'll continue with the second half of chapter 4, dividing and going deeper into resilience and personalized strategies for handling triggers in our daily life. I want to encourage you that you are brave and you are courageous and you are showing up for yourself. Triggers don't define you. They are simply cues. They are simply signals from your body. Listen to this, that you're ready to heal. The reason why they're showing up is because your brain and your body is like, hello, we're ready to heal. We want to move on. We want to start eating better. We want to start exercising. We want to start loving ourselves. We want to start loving others. We want to start waking up in a good mood and in commanding our day. We want to start living a life that's more abundant. Can you pay attention to these tantrums that we're giving you, these cues, these signals? Because we're ready to heal. Are you ready to heal? Are you ready? Are you really, really ready? If not, say no in the chat. If it's an affirmed yes, say yes. If it's I'm working towards that, be honest with where you are. We've got about 23 more days left? Yeah, I think 23 days left. So you're going to get there, and we're here to work with you. So we'll continue with the second half of chapter 4 tomorrow. We're going to spend some time in chapter 4 tonight, digging deeper into resilience and personalized strategies for handling the triggers in your daily life. Remember, you're ready to heal, even if you don't know it yet. If you're interested in personalized coaching to help you work through triggers and help you build resilience, don't forget to check out the coaching opportunities that have been put forth that are available to you. For those, while you're within these 30 days, even if you sign up on January 31st, you have 4 weeks and 4 weeks only to start the coaching plan. From the day you start it, you have 4 weeks to complete it. And we're going to give you the plan of action, what is going to be the topic of each of those 4 sessions, the work that's going to be expected from you. It is not as deep as a normal coaching session, but it's going to give you a real taste and a real idea of what can really happen if you gave us a year. If you gave us a year, if you look back over your life from this time last year or next year at this time, how much have you grown with this new understanding, this new awareness, this new application? Did the transformation happen? Sometimes you need support. I say for my life all the time, support always works. It's guaranteed more so than it is when you do it on your own. So with practice and support, you can learn to manage and reclaim your peace. So if you're interested, you can sign up for the 4 weeks to start. It's a 75% discounted rate than what the normal rate is. And then because we have your name on the list that you RSVP'd, you are also going to be entitled to a special rate going forward for the next year of sessions. Hopefully it's 2 a month. That really, really shows up in the work. But if you do 1 a month, we can get some progress started. It just means more work for you to do on your own when you do 1 a month. Whereas if you signed up for 2 a month, we can do a lot of work together right in our session together. So check out our website, www.suzannemhoward.com. You can email us. You can email Ebony at suzannemhoward.com or info@suzannemhoward.com. You can put any question there, any comment, anything you'd like more information about. If you forgot something and you're just a little frazzled and razzled, you can just go right there. Tonight's t-shirt, sponsored by Derek Cranford Graphic Designs, is Stronger Every Step. Stronger every step. That's where we are tonight. That's where we are in this process. This t-shirt and 30 days of t-shirts are on our website, also available for purchase. And we are also allowing, you can design your t-shirt in any color that you desire. So let's just say you're a yellow girl, or you're a blue guy, or you're a pink person. Whatever color you want to design your t-shirt in, you can. And it should be no problem with availability unless they ran out, because our focus is the message, not the aesthetics, not the color. So if you feel that you're growing stronger with every step, order your t-shirt today at www.suzannemhoward.com. And don't forget, on January 31st, we are doing Soul Detox live and in person. We have rented out the Mark Twain House Auditorium. I believe we're allowed to sell up to 110, 120 tickets, I believe. The tickets are going to be on sale on our website and then posted on social media. Tell your friends, bring your family. Let me meet you. You know, many of you said we watch it on our TV with my husband and my kids. Bring them. I want to meet them. You can get a regular seat or you can get VIP. VIP, we're going to have a special bag for you, a good bag, not a junk bag. And we're going to have a private VIP reception for you. You're going to meet with me. You're going to get advanced information, material even that I will be coming out with that no one else has yet. We're going to sign some things for you, take some photos with you. So whatever works for your plans in your pocket, whether you get regular seating or VIP, I need to see you in the house. I need to see you on January 31st. Doors open at 7 p.m. Show starts at 8 p.m. and ends at 9. And then we'll have some time for Q&A afterwards that we will be recording. And we will have Soul Detox also sent out to some broadcasting channels that are interested in what we're doing. So get on board, get in. We need you. And please, I need you to help me evangelize. Lastly, if you can go ahead and start that stars party, if you could be the first, or maybe you're the fifth now that can send some stars through Facebook or YouTube, please do so. It helps evangelize our work. That's how it works with social media platforms. When they see people sending in stars, they're saying, oh, our platform users like this content. So we're going to help evangelize. We're going to help push this content out. We're going to help push this content up. But it doesn't happen no matter how good I teach, no matter how much healing and deliverance comes. If they don't see that we are on board with the content that is on their site, that you're happy with it, they're going to let us do our own work when we can help evangelize. Can you help tonight? Send those stars on Facebook, send them on YouTube. And if there's anything on Instagram or TikTok that you can do, please, LinkedIn, take the time and share it with someone you love. And a like goes a long, long way on these social media platforms. So I thank you so much for that. We're going to turn to our book now. We're going to turn to chapter 4, and we're going to talk about these triggers and trauma. And we're going to start right at the beginning. You ready? One of the most frustrating aspects of living with trauma is the way it can resurface at unexpected times. You might find yourself feeling upset, anxious, or overwhelmed in situations that seem unrelated to your original trauma. These intense emotional reactions are often caused by triggers, which are reminders of past traumatic experiences. Understanding what triggers are, how they affect you, and learning to manage them are essential steps to the path to healing. So let us explore the concept of trauma triggers, how they lead to specific emotional and physical responses, and how to begin identifying yours and managing your personal triggers. So what are triggers? Let's begin at the foundation. Triggers are external stimuli. They are something that's stimulating you, such as sights, sounds, or smells, or even specific situations that remind your brain of a past traumatic expense. Now, why this is important is because you may not realize something is experienced by you as a trauma. You're like, that wasn't trauma. That was my whole life growing up. You know, we make these jokes about things. But when you're triggered, that's the sign that a trauma is there. Your body and your mind has categorized, has filed, has encoded this event as traumatic to you. So pay attention to your traumas. These reminders can provoke intense emotional and physical reactions because your body believes it is back in a dangerous or threatening situation. So here are some common types of triggers. Sensory triggers, a particular smell, sound, or image that reminds you of the trauma. Situational triggers, being in a similar location or situation to the traumatic event. Emotional triggers, certain feelings like fear or helplessness can bring back memories of trauma. And then relational triggers, interactions with people, especially those who remind you of the person or persons involved in the traumatic event, can serve as triggers. Triggers are not always obvious or directly related to the traumatic event. For instance, someone who experienced trauma during childhood may feel anxious or angry when hearing raised voices. I wrote about myself in my own book, even if the situation they are in is not threatening. The key thing to remember is that triggers cause an automatic reaction. Say it's automatic. I don't have any control over it. It's a signal, it's a cue of something you need to investigate. Your brain senses danger and reacts to protect you, even if the actual situation is safe. So, how trauma responses are triggered and activated in the body? Good question. When a trigger occurs, the brain interprets it as a signal that danger is near, and it activates the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn response that we also discussed earlier in our previous sessions. Even though the trigger might not represent an actual threat in the present moment, the brain reacts as though it is in imminent danger. These responses can range from subtle feelings of unease to full blown panic attacks. Here's how triggers can activate different trauma responses. The fight. You may feel a sudden burst of anger or frustration, ready to confront the perceived threat. Let me make a little note right there. I was reading in Psychology Today magazine where they are highlighting trauma and traumatic experiences, trauma responses, and triggers. And they were given an example. It's a great article written to pastors. I'm actually going to do a little live teaching on it on a daytime session. Um, but they highlighted that one of the ways we may not recognize that we're in a fight response is because we think fight requires physical. Even though I just mentioned that fight response can be a burst of anger, anger that you do nothing about, a burst of frustration that you do nothing about. Just because you are not physically fighting with anyone doesn't mean that your fighting is represented by a burst of anger or frustration. And remember that we're taught in the Bible that it's okay to be angry, but sin not. Uncontrolled or anger that you have not given attention to will lead to sin and long-term sin, almost like chronic stress. So fight mode can also show up as a very intense, maladaptive way to work. Another way fight response showed up that you may not recognize it is this workaholic type response. It is a trauma response where you get into work, you're working more hours, you're working more than you need to be. But to you, you're not. People are telling you, which is a sign, but you're working more hours, you're working more days, you're even putting more pressure on your staff. Employees have even reported that they can tell when someone was triggered because this person put more work on them. And it was work that obviously was noticeable that it wasn't needed that intense or for that long period of time. So watch that your fight response might not be you jumping into work versus some burst of anger, frustration, or physically fighting with someone. That's deep to pay attention to. Flight response. You might feel the urge to flee the situation, becoming restless or anxious. And then there's the freeze response. You could feel paralyzed or unable to react, overwhelmed by a sense of helplessness. And lastly, fawn. You may try to appease or placate others, often at the expense of your own needs to avoid conflict or danger. And yes, people pleasing can be a part of that. These responses are instinctive, meaning they happen before you have time to think about it and what is really going on. While these reactions may have served you well during your original trauma experience, they often lead to problems in the present when triggered by unrelated or non threatening situations. Tomorrow, we're going to pick up on identifying our triggers. The first step in managing triggers is learning to identify them. Take the time and write that in your chat. Write it in your notebook. The first step in managing triggers is learning to identify them. This process can take time and reflection, as many triggers are not immediately obvious. You may not always be able to pinpoint what triggered a particular response, but over time, you can become more aware of your patterns in your reactions. I'm going to stop there because that's going to open us up to a whole new section. And I think we've done very well tonight. And I've had a lot of clients today, and up until 2 minutes before we got on live tonight. So I think this is a good place to stop. It'll give you some time to work on your reflection questions. And we will continue our work from chapter 4 on tomorrow night. So remember, you can order your t-shirt, Stronger Every Step. They're on the website. You can sign up for your 4-week coaching special. And then talk with the coaches and find out if it's something you'd want to continue for the year after. All of us, including myself, are available for the year-long coaching. The plan will be spelled out to you. You know what to expect. You won't get caught up in a loophole of ongoing things. And I need you to get your tickets for January 31st. I personally need to see you in the place. I need it. I've worked and I've tilled and I've sowed, and I want to see some fruit. And your response is the fruit, whether it's in liking and sharing, sending stars, becoming a member on YouTube, but definitely showing up on January 31st. That's the fruit of this work that I've been called to, commissioned to, and that you all are partaking in. We don't want to keep this to ourselves. We want others to find out that there's a way to live their life and live it more abundantly. There's a way to become aware. There's a way to work with application, and there's a way to be transformed, because you have not started your best life now yet. Thank you for being with me tonight. Thank you for being open to exploring these topics. Thank you for believing in what we do here. And I want to remind you in my closing that triggers don't define you. Triggers don't define you. They are simply signals from your body and brain that you are ready to heal. With practice and support, you can learn to manage them and reclaim your peace. If you're interested in personalized coaching to help you work through triggers and build resilience, don't forget to check out the coaching opportunities that have been mentioned. And you can visit us at any time at www.suzannemhoward.com or info@suzannemhoward.com. Rest well tonight, knowing that you're making meaningful progress. I'll see you tomorrow for night 8. Together, we are building a stronger, healthier future. I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. God bless you, and good night. Please say good night to those in the chat. We're a tribe, we're a community, we're a family, and we want to be in each other's steps towards progress and healing. God bless you.